Hello, everybody. Welcome to We're Smarter Than This with our fancy new background.
We're smarter than this?
We're smarter than that.
We're smarter than this?
We're smarter than this.
Apparently not. Ah,
We're on
yes.
to the sequel trilogy. We got Rise of Skywalker on Friday. We're going to record that on Saturday. Going to post it Saturday, the second we're done recording. Might even live stream it. Who knows?
Sure.
Yeah, that'd actually be a really fucking good idea.
We can, so why not?
Yeah, cash in on that hype train, baby. Anyway.
Capitalize.
So first movie we watched on the first one of these, and I feel like you need context to understand why they made a lot of decisions in this movie.
Okay.
Because that the I feel like this movie plays it safe in all ways. And the reason I say that is because in a lot of ways copies A New Hope in a lot of beats.
We're talking about The Force Awakens, by the way. I don't know.
Yes, The Force Awakens.
Yes.
Sorry.
Force Awakens next, the first of the sequel trilogy.
Yes.
Okay. Takes a lot of beats from A New Hope.
And I feel that is because, and it feels a lot more like classic Star Wars,
Yes.
like the original trilogy. And the reason I feel that is Disney was like, all right, motherfuckers hated that prequel trilogy, so we need to just pretend most of that never existed.
Well, so what year did George Lucas sell?
2012.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it that early?
Yeah, and this movie came out in 2015.
That's prequel memes stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. So
that sub was probably created, around that time, but I don't think it was super big by that point.
But that's when it happened. That happened in 2012, and 3 years later they made a movie.
So they were probably jumped on that immediately.
They were just
at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Other than 3, I don't think people like the prequels really at all.
Yeah, and even then, people weren't super high on 3.
Yeah.
So they go in, they make this movie, and it opens really strong.
So if we want to make some general statements about the movie from the opening onward, I think this movie is pretty entertaining.
I liked it. Yeah, I had a good time. It's very, outside of a couple of moments, it's very popcorny. Afterwards, kind of have a moment where I'm like, how much of this do I remember? But
sure.
But there are certain moments that do stick out in your mind as, oh shit, that was cool, or oh, that was a good idea.
Yeah.
He may kind of suck later in the movie, and in later movies, but man, that introduction to Kylo Ren is fuck. Dude. Yes.
Oh, that opening scene is really, really good.
Yeah, just Poe blasted, just boom, mid-air. You're like, oh shit.
One of my problems with the sequel trilogies is you can tell the Disney-esque lines.
Oh yeah, it has the Marvel thing going for it.
Yep, that's what it is.
Yeah, they have the Marvel lines. I think one that stands out is when they're running to a ship to escape a TIE fighter, and he's like, "What about that one? That one's garbage." Blows up the ship they're running toward. The garbage will do. And I'm like, that was very Marvel quippy.
I liked that line, to be fair, but one that really jumped out at me was in that opening scene where they brought Poe down to his knees, and then they just kind of stared, and then Poe's like, "Do you talk or should I talk? I can't really hear you. You got the mask and the voice stuff going."
The apparatus.
Yeah, and so that whole line, it's funny, but it's it almost in that that Marvel way is almost fourth wall-ish of this I don't know. It was weird, but funny, still funny.
Yeah, enjoyable, but also
not
very
Star Warsy.
No, very it's the Disney Marvelification. And it's not to say that's bad. We both fucking love Marvel movies, but it's just it's just weird to see it here.
Yeah.
But it's also great to see good acting here. So
That's also good.
So,
Finn's whole thing, the reveal of Finn,
the bloody helmet and the
FN 2187 or whatever.
Yep, it's just like, what's your name? FN 2187. Just
What?
I'm gonna call you Finn. That was nice. How are you drinking coffee at 9:30 at night, bro?
It's half caffeine. What?
You're gonna fucking die.
I am gonna die. So are you.
Yeah, fair enough.
No, okay. So, I don't know. Nothing bad's happened yet. And I need
Famous last words.
I need to get past 11 p.m. here. So.
Anyway, go on.
So this scene is great as a whole. I really love the whole watching, like Finn's arc. Or I don't know if you would call it an arc, but just Finn's story in this movie, from the blood on his helmet to him like freaking out, and then
to him having a lightsaber fight with a Sith apprentice,
with him shouting "traitor!"
Yeah,
like everyone calling him a traitor, and he's like, and he has this thing of like. In a kind of Han Solo-esque kind of thing of like, I'm actually like trying to run away from all this, but also fuck these guys.
Several times he gets his, and I like that.
Yeah.
Seeing
him with the lightsaber, like he seemed like he was definitely not going to be the lightsaber guy, and then he got his shot. It was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, just someone who is not a fucking Jedi gets to use one.
Yeah, that was cool to see.
It was a nice moment. It was a neat thing. I absolutely adore their introduction of Han Solo in this, and I like how they wait for what feels like forever to give you the old characters.
So like when I first watched the movie, I was critical of it, except for the first half. It felt like you had all of the echoes of the old original trilogy Star Wars, but it was these new characters, and it felt like I'm totally into like Poe and Finn and Rey. I'm actually like entertained. I like BB-8. I think BB-8's great. And then first watching, I was like, the old character coming back. It's like, oh, cool, Han Solo, and then all the New Hope stuff. But yeah, like they stretch it out forever, and when it finally comes. And it's like in the Millennium Falcon too.
Yeah, it's just like we're home. And I love how Han Solo. You've noticed he has not fucking changed at all in 30 years.
Nope.
Like it's just like
he's just gotten old.
Yeah, it's just like you owe money to Conja Club. I didn't give them any money. Tell that to Conja Club. It's like no, you can't trust them. Door opens. Oh yeah. Hey, Conja. Just like it's like when have I ever let you down before?
Twice.
It's just like, what was the second time? I feel like that's conversations with you and I sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Just, yeah. Anyway.
So, there's the whole Rey thing, which you were talking about, is like the callback to Luke, on Tatooine trying to do stuff. Except this is more like lone survivor scavenging for parts to exchange for food.
Just left here, middle of nowhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
You get to see what kind of person she is when she has a chance to sell BB-8 for tons and tons of food and decides not to.
Yeah. No.
So that was cool. Finn and Rey interacting with each other is funny.
It's very funny at first. It's like they're just he's just like maybe I just want to hold hands, but very stressed. Which fair for him.
Yeah. And then eventually, like sometime later on, what was really cool is that she kept like saying stop holding my hand, and then at one point it's like we gotta go, and then grabs his hand and runs off. I thought that was a funny little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a whole escape scene. On the ship they get captured by Han Solo's crew. They were like, they got 3 of those crazy monsters and they
What
said
the hell again?
it was something that I struggled with, Rathlore or something. I don't know, something like that. And I was like, "You got 3? How did you manage to do that by yourselves?" And he's like, "We had more crew. We had a larger crew."
Wonder what happened to the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh
And then
Lord.
Ray, like, trying to close doors, like, opens up the hatch for those to get out, which ends
Right.
up actually helping.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember everything that happened in this movie because a lot happens.
It's very reminiscent of the first Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of just beat for beat stuff, and I know that like the internet has critiqued that a lot, and I'm just like, you know, I didn't, because part of the reason I didn't critique it is because of the reason I didn't critique it that much is because I was just like, that was the obvious thing to do, because you had 3 movies that tried a lot of new shit,
Yeah.
like a lot of new shit, and most of it wasn't like received well. So the obvious thing in my mind would be like, hey, you want to be really good? Hit a lot of the beats of what made this franchise popular.
So, like, and yeah, there were some pros and cons to that move. The pros being, the much older adults were to get their old Star Wars that they liked, especially the adults that didn't like the prequels at all. And then you can get the kids in on it, and
Right,
that's a nice new introduction to Star Wars, the same way we had with the prequels.
Yeah, and you get a more modernized, better feeling looking.
I think these are fantastic stormtroopers visually.
Oh yeah, if we're talking like also this movie does mostly practical effects. And
oh God, right?
Yeah, and they did a fucking great that Millennium Falcon chase on Jakku was great.
Yep.
You get the of course we talk about the escape scene with Han Solo. First introduction to Han Solo in general is fucking fantastic. Then they land at that planet where Han Solo's like, "Look, if I know where we need to speak to Maz Kanata,"
Yep.
and somehow someone got hold of Anakin's lightsaber, even though it
like
fell.
Maz did?
Yeah, Maz did, even though it fell off the top of Cloud City.
Yeah, that happens. It's another bar scene.
Yeah,
you gotta love your bar scenes.
More of that in Star Wars.
Yep.
And then Rey touches it. She touches the lightsaber.
Did you happen to watch those movies with subtitles on?
Yes. Why?
Okay. Oh, just because I didn't notice who the voices were when I watched them in theaters.
Oh, okay.
And it said it was Yoda and Ben Kenobi.
No, I totally caught that without even the subtitles, actually.
I caught Obi-Wan, but I didn't. I totally missed Yoda.
I actually caught Yoda because we watched Empire so recently.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like when he said "surround us," bind. I was like, "Oh shit, that's Yoda." And then she has her little vision of the Knights of Ren and Luke. Then her being sold into slavery.
Yeah.
There's a little chill.
But a real good moment in this movie is Rey totally rejects it and runs.
Yeah, she doesn't do what most the Skywalker family does. Like, oh well, I guess I'm gonna go be a Jedi. She's like, fuck this.
Yep.
Fuck your space wizard bullshit. I'm out.
I just want my parents back.
I don't want any of this space wizard bullshit. We good.
Yeah. And that's when First Order comes in, which I think it said somewhere before here, we also were introduced into what the First Order looked like,
right,
outside of just Kylo Ren.
Right, so you get that. So right after that scene, you get the big fucking Nazi-ass platform on the Star Killer base. You get General Hux addressing the troops, very red flag, trying to create as much Nazi imagery as possible, basically.
Yeah.
Legions and legions of black and white, stormtroopers everywhere.
Yep.
And then you get to see Star Killer Base do what Star Killer Base does. And unlike the Death Star, fuck a planet. Like, you want to raise the stakes, fuck a planet. Let's just fuck up, like, 6 planets.
And let's not be this, like, just a mechanical space station that's like a moon, but like an actual planet with life on it. Because it's so big.
That fucking drains energy from the nearest sun and will murder 5 planets.
It literally sucks up stars.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And blows up, 5 fucking planets. You get to see a civilian planet from that perspective.
From
just
that
get
perspective,
hit. Yeah,
which
get
sucks.
hit.
That's a devastating scene.
Yeah, fuck, dude.
You watch it split off. Like, the parallels to being yet another Death Star bothered me when I first watched it, but like seeing it as this whole new thing, and especially like earlier in the movie, they say evil tends to repeat itself. I was like, yeah, okay, sure, yeah.
And then like this thing's like Death Star plus.
It's like, that's what was gonna happen, and it's bigger and badder because that's just how it works as time passes. And that's a hell of a thing. And then it was weird seeing it called Star Killer.
Yeah.
For anyone who enjoyed Force Unleashed.
I think that was a little nod.
Yeah, right? You would think. They were like just skimming through old Star Wars stuff. And it's like, that's a good fucking name.
Yeah, they're like...
I'm going to take this shit.
Right. That's, I think, exactly what happened.
So, yeah, and... So that happens. Poe, who was like, we thought we was eaten up by the sand early on, after like escape from the First Order ship, like comes in and saves Han and Chewie and Finn from the First Order while Rey's running away. And like Poe is just an amazing ass pilot, like better than anyone we've seen. Like, I don't even think Anakin hit as many targets that quickly.
Poe is new Han Solo Anakin.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have the Kylo lands, and he goes after the girl, Rey.
Yep.
And then, and Finn has to get out of there. It's just like, he's like, I need a weapon. He's like, you have a weapon. You know? He turns on the fucking lightsaber. That's a good one. And he
battles that one stormtrooper.
Which, goddamn.
That was good.
That guy deserves a pay raise.
You're right.
Crap. I also like how Han gets to use Chewie's bowcaster. He's like, I like this thing.
You're right. That was a good weapon in Jedi Knight 2.
That was a great weapon
tell you.
In Battlefront 2.
It's a good weapon in Battlefront.
Yeah, no. But you have the Stormtrooper Finn fight.
It was a weird thing to see. It's like Han Solo, the Han Solo, got to shoot a weapon before any of us, or shot a weapon after all of us had experienced a weapon thoroughly in previous video games. Like Han likes him, like, yeah, Han, you get it. You understand.
Oh, God.
That was good.
I remember all the memes that came out about that Stormtrooper guy. The Stormtrooper that fought Finn. So,
oh, really? I forgot already.
Yeah, there's a bunch of memes that came out about him. I don't remember regarding what, though. I also like how like Han Solo knows Finn is lying. He's like, he's like, they always find out. Just like women, they always find out.
Which, that is a very Han answer.
Oh, Lord. So...
Rey gets captured.
Rey gets captured. Poe and company save Han and everyone, and then Rey's getting tortured on Starkiller Base, while Han and Finn are planning the attack on Starkiller, and they explain how Starkiller works. And Matt from Heroes, is one of the pilots which every single time I see that, I'm like, oh, it's that guy from Heroes. um,
All right. Yeah,
yeah.
Heroes was a thing.
Yeah, that was a show that was on Netflix for a while. It was okay.
Was it on Netflix?
Yeah, it was on Netflix when Netflix was first trying to find good shit to put on Netflix.
Because Heroes was a huge show at that time.
Yeah, so was Friday Night Lights. That was another one that was popular then.
Yep.
I like how Ray mind tricks the guard. And
it's so good.
At first, you don't think it works. It's like, say that again, I'll tighten them.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh shit, okay.
I like the actor who plays that stormtrooper.
Yeah. Oh, who was that actor?
Daniel Craig.
Oh fuck. Oh my god.
I had no idea. I had to look. I found that through the internet. The internet told me.
Kevin Smith was in this at some point too. I forgot where though.
I think Simon Pegg was the guy that was given the food to Rey on Jakku.
Okay.
They altered his voice heavily, but I think he was doing that. I wonder where Kevin Smith was.
Yeah, because I know he talked about being on the set and whatnot. I like how Kylo finds that she's gone, and she goes to it was it was very Marvel,
yes.
But it was still just those two guys like, no, let's just turn around.
Let's just go.
Yeah.
We also forgot that this was the reveal of Kylo Ren's face, which was a momentous occasion when that came out in theaters, to say the least.
People were surprised.
I am more okay with it now because I feel like there's a different message happening, which we'll get to later,
right?
Probably, but at the time, you were hoping for a big baddie.
Yeah, you were hoping for Vader 2.
Yeah.
You were not hoping for 17-year-old kid.
Or as everyone likes to describe him as Napoleon Dynamite.
I posted this on Twitter and Facebook when I watched Last Jedi, and I'm just like, God, Kylo Ren is such a fuckboy. And God, does that stand true through this movie and the next one? So yeah, next.
So then, yeah, he lashes out.
Yeah, and so Rey's on the escape. Finn and Han are on the rescue. They go on light speed through the shield to land on the Starkiller base.
Wow.
And then,
nuts.
And then they're sneaking in, and it's just like, what was your job here? Sanitation. It's like, you were
sanitation.
Just
we're gonna wing it. I like Finn's face. He was like, "We'll use the Force. That's not how the Force works."
Great line from this flick.
Yeah. Again, another slightly Marvel-esque line bit, but I really liked it.
But I mean, like, Star Wars used to be the template for big action blockbuster, and now it's Marvel.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, if you're gonna follow the template for big action blockbuster for today and be successful, that's
which again I feel like lends to like the prequels' appeal. Now that the sequels are coming out, is like it was Star Wars, and it was still inherently Star Wars while being entirely new.
Versus this, which is just
echoes while also being Marvel.
Yeah, which I still really enjoy it.
It's still an entertaining movie for sure.
Yeah, like I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed at least one of the prequels, if not two.
Yeah, we will get to placement at the end of this, but I think we're thinking similarly here. So I also think we missed a point where Kylo Ren has Vader's head.
Oh right, and he's talking to it.
He just has that, and he says something won't fail you, grandfather.
Yeah, and you get between that and Han and Leia, you get the big reveal of like, oh, it's Han and Leia's kid.
Yep. Yeah. So then, let's see. So where are we at? Oop. Ren confronts Finn. No, that's too far forward.
No, it's so they meet up on the escape.
Yep.
After ambushing Phasma,
That's right.
Which, man, talk about another Boba Fett type character. Look
Yeah.
so dope to do nothing. And then, so you
She
have
had
your
2 movies, didn't she?
yeah, so yeah, so
I mean, the Emperor's back, so maybe she's back.
let's bring everyone back.
Let's just bring everyone back. Qui-Gon Jinn's back.
Yep, please. Liam Neeson's popular right
Please.
now.
Liam Neeson's still alive. Let's do this.
He's popular right now too. He's very popular right now.
Yeah. He's been allowed to rest now that Keanu Reeves has taken up the action.
Yeah.
But okay, so yeah, Phasma, Han Solo says, "You got a garbage chute, trash compactor."
Once again,
Yeah, we do.
Throwback.
Yep.
Let's see. Then we have. Then they meet up with Rey finally, and they're escaping. But then Kylo Ren busts out, and Han goes over to him.
They were setting explosives to get rid of the shield.
Mm-hmm. So the bombing run could happen. That's right.
Yep.
And then let's see. And then I like. Oh God. And sorry, my memory is shit here.
Is this where Han's walking out?
You're right. This is where
on
Han's...
on the narrow handrail-less path that they're both standing on for reasons.
Right. Exactly. And then they have their thing where Han's trying to help, but Han understands like how he's gonna help.
Right.
Which is just... I remember when this happened in the theater, I cried. Because in the theater, I'm like, dude, you killed Han Solo.
Killed Han Solo, who's also your dad, but also you killed Han Solo.
Yeah, like, two for one. Like, because, like, I mean, dead dad stuff always hits me in particularly hard.
Sure.
I'm sure the same is for you.
Hmm.
And then it's Han Solo on top of it, who is like my childhood.
I was far too preoccupied with like, why would you walk out onto this narrow handrail-less thing to go confront your kid who has like killed people in rebellion of you? Maybe just stand at the end and just shout. You're fine. What? Anyway.
It's like, I want to be free of this plan. I know what to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
Yeah.
And then Han Solo.
I wish Han would have just been like, come over here. I need to talk to you.
And Han's like, yeah, I'll do anything to help.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was dialogue-wise good.
Yeah, like great. They pull out the lightsaber together and
find out his name's Ben.
Yeah. Found his name's Ben Solo, taken from the EU. Just pick weird shit to take from the EU.
Yeah, that's what's really funny, is I wonder how much they looked at it, or I think it would also be really funny if they just didn't look at all and just drew upon Star Wars like the EU writers did, and it turns out they thought sort of the same thing, but not.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. And then Kylo murders him, and Chewie goes ape shit.
Chewie goes nuts.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, dude, if your like best friend of like 30, 40 years was murdered.
Yep.
The guy you've lived with your entire life, basically.
Yep.
In Chewie's case, not his entire life, but Han, definitely most of his life.
Yeah.
And then Chewie, half of his life at least. So, like,
Big deal.
You can see Harrison Ford did just a good acting job. You see him touch his face and like,
yep,
he falls into the pit.
Yeah, seeing him fall into the pit sucked.
And you see Kylo like broken, and it cuts to Leia, and she's like, "Oh God."
Yeah, and then everyone's screaming, and then Chewie totally hits Kylo in the hip.
Yep, bowcaster.
Which I remember a really good little comic strip of Chewie watching Han die, Chewie aiming the bowcaster at Kylo Ren's head, and then like a flash of all the memories of Chewie with Ben, and he frowns, and then he turns and aims at his hip. Like,
Oh god.
shit. God damn it.
And then Chewie lights off the explosions,
Yep.
leaving room for Death Star Trench Run Dose.
Yeah. Or Trace.
Trace. Yeah, yes. And then they have what is one of the, like, it's definitely not as flashy as the prequel stuff, but it's because they're not as well trained, and I actually kind of like that.
Yeah.
Because it's more of a just brawl, where
that's another thing. Like, I wonder if the one thing I always thought maybe people might have had a problem with the prequels is that they might have felt that the prequels lightsaber fights were too choreographed. They almost felt like dances because just the way they do. There's a scene in episode 3 where it's Palpatine and Mace Windu, and they like hold their lightsabers up like this, and then they collide like this, and then Mace Windu pulls his lightsaber back, and the blade goes forward and hits a blade, and then goes back forward, like just this weird, crazy shit that you wouldn't even think of. I wonder if they're like, go back to what it was in the old movies where it was just like, what if you just gave two fucking dudes a sword? What would happen?
I think it's just more the fact that they're just not, because they're not,
they're not trained. Yeah, Kylo Ren has been receiving training, but it's like
it's not where they were.
It's not like he has a lot of Jedis to practice against.
Yeah, I mean, he did.
He did at a time.
If he didn't murder them, the dick.
So okay. So all right. So then we're having we're getting to the fight between Ren and Finn because Rey gets like knocked out.
Yeah. So Rey gets knocked out trying to shoot him. Mm-hmm. So that's just pure Finn and that's Finn and Kylo, and Kylo kind of fucks him up. Like, Finn says a stance at first.
Yes.
And it's just anger, but then just Kylo's been training with Jedi at least a little bit.
He's definitely had a lot more training with a lightsaber.
Yeah, versus Finn, who's just I learned how to learn melee weapons via slavery, essentially. And then you have Rey, who a lot of people bitch about this. That's like, oh, how'd she beat him when, he's been at least somewhat semi-trained and whatnot. It's like, well, okay, so
two things, but
yeah, two things. One, boy's hurt.
Yep.
You see the blood on the ground. They clearly pointed out in a shot.
Yep.
And then two, the next thing that happens is the fact that the movie has already pointed out several times she's strong with the Force.
Yep.
So it's like anything in Star Wars, I know this is the ultimate kind of Deus Ex Machina for anything excuse for Star Wars, but it's the Force.
Dude, Luke's first lightsaber battle was against Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And he survived.
Yeah, but Luke also had at least a few weeks of training with Yoda.
Yeah, but they weren't doing true lightsaber fights.
Yeah. Also, Vader, was kind of going easy on him.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Versus, but even then though, it's just.
But also, Kylo is Kylo, and.
Yeah, he's a fuckboy.
So I have no problem with this. Rey seems crazy strong.
While this is going on, Poe shows how he is the best fucking pilot in the universe.
Again,
dude.
Yeah.
I hope that in the next movie he doesn't get to do much. So I'm really hoping in the third one he gets more of this kind of shit.
I'm gonna save my thoughts on all that for next
episode, I got a lot to say.
I
got a lot to talk about for that movie. That movie's gonna be a piece.
That's gonna be fun.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Han
and Chewbacca's explosives fly in, detonate, start. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the fight, the blowing up Starkiller finally happens, and the rest of the movie is this fight. It's this fight where Rey's kind of running away, and Kylo keeps coming after her because he wants the fucking lightsaber because it was his grandpappy's, and also because
Also, Rey.
Rey
seems like a threat.
Rey seems like a threat, and also I think he has a crush on her.
That's entirely possible. I don't know who would, who wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, she is a Jedi.
Yes.
But Daisy Ridley is very attractive.
Yes.
But yeah, no, you have this very climatic fight. Like the lightsaber just crackling, and Kylo's like, "You need a teacher." I can show you the ways of the Force.
That's right. That started with this. Yep.
Yep. And then, she just kind of, chills out and, goes, just starts kind of kicking his ass.
Yep.
And then, the planet splits. And
from Poe's shot.
Yeah. And then she gets rescued by Han. And
no, she doesn't.
Or not Han, by Chewie. Jesus.
Yep.
I just associate the Millennium Falcon with Han, man.
I don't blame you. It's gonna be hard.
It's still hard,
Yeah.
Especially because they had a fucking side story about it. So anyway, so they get back to the Rebel or Resistance base, and they get the rest of the map to Mr. Luke Skywalker.
That's right. R2-D2 wakes up.
And, Finn's okay, and Leia wishes them goodbye, and all this other shit happens. Leia wishes goodbye, and, Chewie and Rey, the new owners of the Millennium Falcon, go out and fly off into the distance to go find Luke, and in the most expensive movie shot of all time.
I don't know about that, but...
No, he got paid like $3 million for that shot.
Oh God, for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, like
from what I heard, for that price, for that money, Mark Hamill thought he was coming in a lot sooner.
Yeah, no, apparently not.
They apparently had him working out for like weeks. It's like, you fucking. So yeah, that was kind of awkward.
A little bit.
The second time around, I was thinking like, well, she knows he's Luke, so maybe just standing like that was a good distance, and then he'll just force pull it over to him. Maybe that's good enough.
Yeah.
It's like the conversation we were having before this podcast. It's like, what do you do when you meet, celebrities that you've talked about? Like, you just do awkward things. Like Rey just stops 30 feet short and is like, "Here's your lightsaber."
Well, like that's even bigger in this case. This is like, hey, this is the man who is the ultimate Jedi currently.
Yep.
And
man of legend.
And save the galaxy.
Mm-hmm. God damn it.
Hi, Mr. Skywalker. Hi.
I got your laser sword. Anyway.
And the next movie picks off right from there, so.
Yeah, it does. Which is weird.
I actually really like that, but anyway, so let's rank them.
Let's rank. Let us rank.
So, I'm going to go from worst to first again.
Worst first.
Worst, Attack the Clones. God, that movie's a piece of shit. Then I got myself some Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have The Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Then I have The Force Awakens.
Okay.
We got some New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
We got some Empire.
All right.
And then the best one of these is still Revenge of the Sith.
Mm. What a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. All right. Bottom of my list is still Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
I've said everything I've had to say.
Yep.
Next, almost a tie, kind of a tie. Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
Then Force Awakens.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I find this movie very entertaining. I think there's some cool stuff that is said and alluded to. The messages of this movie resonate. and it calls back to the old stuff, but it's not. It didn't seem really annoyingly so, especially when it was within the context of if you don't deal with evil, it just reoccurs and it kind of echoes the same way.
Absolutely.
And I just think that's cool. And then after that, Empire, and then Revenge of the Sith, and finally, still at the top for me is A New Hope.
All right, it looks like we're not beating the original Star Wars for you, bud.
Dude, you know.
All right. Well, anyway, that'll be it. We'll be back. You've already some of you might have watched this live already, but we'll be back tomorrow with a Last Jedi.
Yeah, that movie.